Good morning, students. Today we are going to continue the yesterday's topic, uh, cache memory. In the previous class we have seen the introduction to the cache, why the cache memory was invented, to increase the speed of the processing, to reduce the memory access time, average memory access time. And we found that there are three different types of cache memories. One is three different types of mappings. One is associative mapping, second one is direct mapping, third one is set associative mapping. Okay, so in the previous class we had completed the first type of mapping, associative mapping, where the address of the data and address and data pairs are stored in the cache memory. Okay, and because of this the associative memories are expensive. This is the drawback of the associative memory. Okay, so that's why we are moving on to second type of mapping mechanism of cache memory, that is direct mapping cache. Okay, so in the direct memory mapping we will try to reduce the number of bits, number of address bits that are stored along with the data. Address bits are required to match with the address given by the CPU, but that could be reduced. Okay, scientist has done some investigation how to do this and found a way. That is, if you observe, this is main memory 32K by 12 and this is 512 by 12. So here the number of address bits required are 15. Okay, here the number of address bits required are 9, and they are represented in octal form. So 5 into 3 15, 3 into 3 9. If you observe here, starting from 0 to 511, that is 777, is same as 0 to 777 bits here also, but they will be repeated again and again and again 64 times, because main memory is 64 times bigger than this. Okay, so we are checking, we are observing this address bits. Okay, so after observing this address bits, it is found that these 15 bits are having 9 bits of these 15 bits are index bits only. Okay, they are similar to the index of the cache memory. Okay, so no need to store them again, they just store the tag bits. Okay, that means this main memory is split into 64 parts, because it is 64 times bigger than this. It's like a book having 64 pages. Okay, and each page is having 512 lines. Remember this analogy, main memory is a book with 64 pages and each page is similar to cache memory. Each page is having 512 lines. Okay, so we can bring any one line of that page and bring it here, put it here. Now if you want to put the first line of the first page and second line of the second page, you can put it here. Okay, we will put the first line of the first page in the first line here, second line of the second page here. Now how to distinguish between first page and second page? That first page and second page will be represented by these tag bits. So total how many pages are there? 2 to the power of 6, 64 pages are there. So that is how the number of bits, the number of address bits stored along with the data bits are reduced. Okay, and this is the advantage of direct mapping, but again it is having a disadvantage. That is, if I want to store same lines of different pages, for example I want to store first line of the first page, first line of the second page also, I cannot do here. I can store only one first line of any page. Okay, that is the drawback of this. That's why we are moving on to set associative mapping. Okay, where it is possible to store first line of two different pages if it is two-way set associative memory. Okay, let's discuss about it later, but that is the drawback of this direct mapping cache. Here I can only store one line of one page at a time. Okay, if I want to store the same line of different pages, that is not possible here. Okay, and because of that, hit ratio can drop considerably. Okay, so here let us look at the direct mapping cache before moving on to set associative mapping. This is the main memory, which is just now I told you having 64 pages book. It is a 64 pages book. Each page is having 512 lines, and this is our cache memory, which is equal to one page. Okay, which can store 512 lines of information. So the it is possible to store one entire page here, or you can store one line from each page and store here. Okay, according to the requirement, it will be done. And this direct mapping cache is of block size 1 word. Okay, that means if you are bringing data from memory to cache, you are bringing only one word. Okay, and this is not that good, because if you are bringing only one word, because of the sequential nature of the programming, you might need immediate next word also, and you will have to go to main memory again, which is a time consuming process. That's why there is another type. There are different types of direct mapping cache memories with different block sizes. I will show you one more type, that is direct mapping cache memory with block size of 8. This time when you go to main memory, you don't bring single word, instead you will bring 8 words. Okay, so because of this and sequential nature of the programs of all the programs, the number of misses will be reduced, and you don't need to go to main memory unnecessarily again and again. Your hit ratio will be increased. Average access time will also be reduced. Okay, this is direct mapping cache. Now let us move on to the next type, that is set associative mapping. Okay, this is the set associative mapping, and again there are different types of set associative mapping. So this is a two-way set associative mapping cache. Why it is two-way? Because it is 2 times our direct mapping cache. The drawback of direct mapping cache is, if I want to store same line of different pages, that is not possible there. But here, if you want to store same line from 2 pages, then it is easily possible. Look at here, this is the 000 first line of page number 1 and page number 2. This is the data. So you can store the data of same line of different pages in this two-way set associative mapping cache. Okay, this is because of this your hit ratio will get improved. The drawback is you need a complex comparison logic. At the same time, it will be more expensive than direct mapping cache. Okay, and you could have 3-way, 4-way, that only increases the cost and the complexity of the comparison logic, but with respect to that, this hit ratio will also be increased. So this is about set associative mapping. Here you can store similar lines of different pages. Okay, that is only possible because of the facilities given, and facilities are costly. Okay, now let us move on to replacement algorithms. Earlier also I told you, when CPU misses the data required in cache, it will replace some old data with the new data from main memory, and that decision must be taken, and decision will be taken based on replacement algorithms, page replacement algorithms. Here page replacement, we are calling it as a page replacement algorithm because we are considering main memory as a book having different pages, and we are bringing some pages from main memory and keeping in our cache memory. That's why here these algorithms are called page replacement algorithms. FIFO, first in first out, LRU, least recently used, Okay, we will discuss about it in the next topic also, virtual memory, because there also we are going to use same programs, same algorithms, but nomenclature will change. Instead of pages, where there we will refer to the memory with some other word, but the replacement is required. Okay, there we call it as page fault, I think. Okay, we will see later. So replacement algorithms is very important. We will see an example. Let us look at two more important things. One is writing into cache. Most of the times we will be reading from the cache, but there is a possibility of writing into cache also, because data can be transferred in two ways. You can take from memory or you can give it to the memory. Okay, so when you giving into the memory, you are having two memories. So there are two methods to write this. One is write through, another one is write back. In the write through, you will be writing into both main memory and cache memory at a time. Okay, one after the other. So you will try to have the same memory in main memory and cache memory, no conflict. Okay, but it is time consuming. The other method is write back. In this method you will write only into cache memory, because CPU is first referring to cache memory only, and you are not updating the main memory. You will update later, not immediately, because CPU might be using this data from cache memory multiple times, so you don't need to update multiple times. So that's why only CM will be updated and flagged. Okay, when the time comes to remove this data, then the will be updated. Okay, so that is the difference between write through and write back. All these techniques are only to improve the hit ratio. Remember that hit ratio is important. Reducing the average memory access time is important. Okay, next one is cache initialization. Cache will be initialized in two cases. One is when power is applied, or when is loaded with complete set of new data from auxiliary memory or secondary memory. Now when new data comes, all the old data will be invalid. So each and every memory location in the cache will be having a facility like valid bit. So that valid bit indicates whether the data in the cache is valid or not. Now for the first time, all the bits will be 0 and the data will be invalid. CPU will face many misses, and this will reduce the speed of the processing. But after replacing, slowly each and every invalid data will be replaced with the valid data from the main memory, and finally the hit ratio will start improving and the average memory access time will be reduced. Okay, this is the complete cache memory concept. Okay, tomorrow we will start virtual memory concept. Thank you.